How's everyone doing tonight? Well, I'm fixed to upload another episode of my podcast called Beyond Cheaters, the Detective 𝐸𝐸 Files. And this particular episode is called The Secret Text Message. Check it out. Subscribe to the channel, and of course, like the video, and I'll see you next time.
You're listening to Beyond Cheaters, the Detective 𝐸𝐸 Files. And now, here is Detective 𝐸𝐸.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Beyond Cheaters, the Detective 𝐸𝐸 Files. Today I'm your host, Detective 𝐸𝐸, and today we have Allie is going to be on our show today and tell us about her cheating experience that she got out of just 6 months ago. And should be interesting to hear. And it just goes to show you, no matter how old you are, cheating can affect you in your life. So let's get into it. Allie, are you there?
Yes, hi.
How are you doing today, Allie?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. So, Allie, how old are you?
I am 23 years old.
23 years old. Okay, 23 years old. You got cheated on. I'm sure there were some good times with this guy. I mean, but let's kind of get how it all started. How'd you and this guy meet?
We were really good friends in high school, so we're from the same hometown, and we had a lot of mutual friends, and we just kind of got really close and we're best friends, and then officially decided to start dating a couple years later, and we were together, oh my gosh, for 2.5 years.
Wow, 2.5 years, that's a long time. Did you ever think this guy was going to be like the one, I mean, did you get to know your parents? Did you get to know his parents? Did y'all do any traveling together?
I did think he was the one, which is really hard to talk about, but I mean, I knew his family really well. He knew mine. We got really close. We took a lot of trips together. I mean, we went to Hawaii together 2 times, which is, I would say that's pretty serious. I don't know, but
yeah, I mean, if you go on a trip together with your boyfriend and their family, I think that's pretty serious.
We were very serious. I thought I was going to be with him forever, but yeah.
Okay. So obviously it was so good that you were traveling with the family together. You got to know his mom and dad and vice versa. Now, obviously you're single now, and sadly to say, something happened. So let's get into that a little bit. So, while you're dating this guy, were there any red flags that ever came up that said, this guy's cheating on me, or he wants to cheat on me, or anything like that? I mean, any gut feeling like you had, or what they call women's intuition, I guess?
Yes.
Did you have any of that going on?
So I did. When we were in college together, he changed a lot due to being in a fraternity. Okay. Especially with me, it's a growing stage for people. I mean, it's just hard. So, in our relationship, me and him, he was always a guy's guy. So he was always around his best friends, all that kind of stuff. He never really hung around girls unless it was me and my girlfriends. Mm-hmm. And he started saying, talking a lot about how he wanted to have more girlfriends that he was close with. Okay. And it kind of put up a red flag for me in the sense that, multiple ways. I mean, he was drinking a lot more. He was going out with his friends more, but having the fact that I wasn't good enough to be just the only girl, that he needed more girls in his life. And that was a problem for him. That really just stunned me. Happened very quickly. It just stunned me.
Do you think did he just want more girls to talk about stuff with? I mean, not besides his own physical girlfriend? Is that what he wanted? Just more communication with different women?
I don't know. For me, he had me for 2.5 years. And he didn't really complain about it towards the end. I don't know if he got bored with me, just felt like he needed more. But, I gave him everything he needed to, someone to talk to, someone to be there for him. And so, the only other thing maybe that was missing was everything else you would go with cheating. So that's all I could really think about in my head. Right. So all I could really think about was I gave him all the support and love he needed. Why, what else would be the reason? And so in my head at the moment, I was well, we're not, very intimate as we used to be, so maybe that was the reason. So I just, in my head, I was overthinking it, but maybe.
Was there any reason why the intimacy wasn't there anymore? Or you just had busy schedules, or what?
Busy schedules. We were both college students. He had his frat life to deal with, and I was in a sorority. I had my own things I had to deal with, and so it kind of just became very busy. And we were both living in the dorms at this time because it was a cheaper option, and it was just hard. Right. It was a hard situation. You had to deal with roommates and stuff. So
okay. So let's get down to the dirty business here.
Yes.
All right. So obviously you catch him cheating. Tell us how that all went down. You got the gut feeling going on. You got the feeling that he's looking for other women. What was the moment that you caught him cheating, and how did it go down?
So pretty much the whole situation kind of went down as in we went home for a vacation to see our families and stuff like that, and we we were kind of like arguing a lot more and stuff like that. We kind of wanted to give each other some space during this time to spend time with our families because we haven't seen them in a while. So we kind of just took our time apart. Like we saw each other every once in a while. But anyways, when I came back to school and he was there too, like, he was just an angel. And it kind of just flipped a switch. Like, he was just so perfect. And, I mean, he did everything for me. He was bringing me flowers. He was buying me jewelry. He was, waiting on my hand and knee. I mean, or, I don't think that's how you say it. Anyways, he was just perfect. And it was just shocking.
Okay.
And so I was just getting this feeling like there is something going on. And I just knew it. And so I was in my dorm room one night and he was passed out from doing stuff with his fraternity, and my roommate came in hammered and she was out like a light, and I was just sitting there watching TV, and I was like, his phone was there and he asked me to charge it. So I was like, I mean, this is
now his phone, did it have a passcode on it or anything
he
like
did.
that? Okay,
and he let me look at it, but he knew I was never going to look at it. Like, I wasn't the kind of person who went through people's stuff. Like, I just never did.
You wouldn't do anything crazy.
No, no, never.
Okay.
So I wouldn't go looking through his phone, and I saw it sitting there and I looked at it and I was like, I'm not going to.
Did you kind of feel the phone was calling your name a little bit? You know?
Oh, definitely. It was one of those situations where I was like, you need to look at it. Better safe than sorry. Do it.
Okay. So you go through his phone?
Yes.
Okay. And tell me about that.
Well, that was probably the most heartbreaking moment I've ever had in my life. It was hard. I mean, like, it was hard already, feeling like he couldn't trust me. Like, I was looking through his stuff. Right. So it was hard for me in the first place. So I was looking through his text messages. I just thought that was the easiest place to start. And, we get down to Emma. Like, all of them are his friends and, like, people I know really well, people I can trust. I don't need to really look through those messages.
And what was your boyfriend's name?
His name is Andrew. Okay.
And so you see Andrew's texting somebody by the name of Emma. Mm-hmm. Okay. And when you look at the text message, what do you see?
I didn't really want to read any of the lower messages. I wanted to start from the very top. I was like, might as well just go through it all.
Something fresh.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to go to the very, very top. And Emma was someone that he actually mentioned to me about, like, wanting to be her friend. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't even know this person. Like, we went to high school together, but I never knew her. Mm-hmm. But she knew we were in a relationship. So I was like, okay. So, like, I scrolled up all the way to the top, and the very, very first message, oh my God, was...
What did it say?
It said, did you have an STD when we had sex?
Now, is she asking him, or is he asking her that question?
She's asking Andrew.
Did she say she had an STD?
Honestly, that was the boiling moment. My head just pretty much exploded. I didn't read the rest.
Okay.
I didn't, there was no part of me that wanted to read the rest. Okay. I got my point. I have my proof. I didn't really need much more. So, burning rage, that's my best way of expressing how I felt in that moment. I mean, like, you kind of get heat flashes, like, it just kind of goes blurry.
And a part of it's like, you can't even believe this is happening, right?
Yeah. And so, sorry. So I was, looking through, or I was sitting there and I was like looking, like, I just read that message and I got up and he was laying right next to me and I smacked him awake. And harder than I ever smacked anyone in my life. I just smacked him awake, having the phone in my other hand, showing him the text messages as he was groggy, waking up.
Did you smack him in the face?
Yep.
Or okay.
Yeah, full on, right across the face.
Okay.
And then he was groggy, and I showed him the text messages, and I was like, "What is this? Like, what is this?" And I'm just so angry. And he said, he was just like, I don't know what you're talking about. I can't even read it. I was like, read it. So, like, I was like pushing it on his face. I was like, read it. And he's just like, it's a joke. Like, that's a joke. I go, that's funny because this message is from this point in this time period. I actually don't remember the date. This point in this time period. And we are so far past this date now. Like, we are past it.
Right.
Like, this is not a joke. If this was a joke, this would have happened in the same day. Like, I was just furious. And so I keep hating him because I'm so angry. I'm just so mad. I mean, we were each other's first. And so for this situation, it was just heartbreaking. Right. And,
did you just, I mean, what happened?
I just fainted. I was so mad. Well, so I was really mad. I was screaming. I was fighting and arguing and mad. And then eventually my emotions worked up so much that I fainted.
You passed out?
Yeah.
I guess the blood just shot to your head.
Yeah, I just down. I just went down. And I never felt an emotion like that before, so I think it was overwhelming for me.
Okay.
And so I think that's why I fainted. But I remember waking up and he was over, like, it was very quickly too. It wasn't long. And he was crying. He was like, you just fainted. And he was like, I've never seen you like this. And I was like, well, you did this. Like, you caused this situation. I ended up leaving my dorm room. Okay. And, I was, still very angry and upset. And I, like, hurt myself, like, slapping the wall. Like, I was just mad.
You were punching everything.
I was punching everything.
And so once you get the information, you leave your dorm room, you're upset. Did you ever try to make contact with the girl, Emma, and find out what her story was?
I did. So, sorry, Andrew and I ended up talking again.
Okay.
And because I wanted to know about it. Like, when you're sitting there getting all this info, like, hearing about it and thinking about it, you're getting eaten alive by what could have happened.
Right.
And I just was sick and tired of myself laying in bed, getting eaten alive every night by what went on in the situation. Right. That I wanted to know the full story and every single
it's important to know the whole story.
Detail.
Like how they meet.
How they
long's
meet.
Been going on.
What they did. Everything they did in bed. Like, I wanted to know it all. Because if I'm sitting there thinking about, like, what all would happen, like, it's going to hurt me more than him telling me the full truth.
Right.
So, anyways, he sat down and he told me, because he wanted our relationship to work even though he was screwing it up.
Right.
But he was trying to make the relationship work, and he told me everything, and he told me, he gave me her number and everything, and he was like, you can say whatever you want to her, and I was like, I know I can. I was like, oh yeah, I get to.
I don't need your permission.
I don't need your permission. I'm going to say whatever I want.
Her.
Exactly. So I texted her, and I told her, I was like, this is, like, one, you knew we were together. I was like, I don't know what he told you. Like, he might have lied to me, but I don't know what he told you, and I don't know your side of the story, but you knew we were together. Yeah, I mean, you follow him on Instagram. Like, you knew all that stuff. And, like, if you don't keep yourself away from Andrew, I was like, you're going to regret it. I was like,
and what does that mean in real terms?
Just that I'm going to fucking kick her ass. Like, that's just, like, I was so angry. I was so mad. Right. I don't want her near him. Like, even if me and him didn't work, like, that's still a situation that, like, if I saw them two together, like, I would still be so angry.
I can imagine. Just imagine them having sex together.
Yeah.
And plus imagining, because that he was your first.
Yep.
And then imagining them just hanging out together again would probably just send a rage in you.
Yep. I was a mess. I went batshit crazy. I was very angry.
What's it called? What'd you say?
Batshit crazy.
Batshit crazy. Okay. All right.
I was so mad, and I was so down, and I was pissed. I was very pissed. I mean, like, a couple years before this, my parents got a divorce.
Okay.
And they went through...
There was some infidelity going on also.
Yeah, they went through
some infidelity. So it's kind of like you're reliving what they're going through.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, and me, I kind of got traumatized by that. Like, so I tried to make our relationship work for a little bit longer. But I mean... I eventually caught on to all of his little cheating and all that kind of stuff, and I eventually was just so done with it, and I left.
Okay.
And I look back on it. I mean, there were situations where I was mad. I mean, anyone in a cheating relationship is going to get hurt. Right. And I don't want anyone to ever think that that's where they should stay. Yeah. Like, I might sound very happy, but, no, but that's because I dodged a bullet and I got the hell out of there eventually.
It's like, it's a lot of stress having to worry.
Yeah.
If you were to stay with him, you'd always be constantly worrying if he's going to contact her again, which he probably did, and say, hey, my girlfriend's crazy or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. I got called that all the time. I mean, they blame you for being crazy.
They blame you for being what? What'd you say?
They blame me for being crazy, but they're the reason I am crazy.
Right.
They called it out of me.
Yeah, he made you crazy.
Exactly.
That's what they don't understand. They make you crazy. You do all kinds of crazy stuff. And you can't catch them cheating. And
boys are stupid.
And it goes to show you that you're not crazy.
Yeah.
Right?
Nope, I'm not. I was definitely in a situation, but I'm not anymore. I mean, I'm happily single, and I'm doing my own thing, and I feel like that's the better option than having to deal with all that headache and heartache. And
do you feel like the weight's been lifted off your shoulders? Yeah. I mean, like
it's a great feeling. It's such a great feeling. It sucks. It sucks for a while. I mean, and there's definitely times where I wanted to keep going back and fixing it. And I mean, it's a heartbreak. I mean, it's not easy to kind of just be like, bye. Like when you truly love someone and you think they're going to be the one.
Right. And that's boyfriend and girlfriend. Can you imagine being married? It's even worse.
I know. I can't. especially with what my parents went through. Like, I saw it, but I can't imagine the heartache from that. I mean, that's years together. I mean, I had 2.5 years, but like, when you're going on like 15, 20 years, like that's a whole different level of a relationship with someone. So I can't imagine what people have been through with that. And that's something that in the rest of my future, I'm going to work for not having.
Right.
Like, I'm a very loyal person. But if I don't feel like there's complete loyalty with my future relationships, I'm going to leave them. And there's no me being crazy or trying to stick around or looking back. Like, there's just me laughing at it and being bye. Say bye.
Do you ever think that, if you were to start dating again, you think you'll have a more watchful eye on certain things?
Definitely. I mean, there's definitely, like, I will never date a frat guy again.
Okay.
There are some ones that you can trust, but, because I have really good friends that are in fraternities, but there's just majority of them, like when you're in college and stuff like that, that is just not where you want to be at. Okay. Elder flags are, they need like girlfriends that are just as close as you.
Right.
Again, to me, like, I want to be that number one. You're choosing to date me. You're not dating them. Right. I was like, you're choosing to date me. I should be that number one person. If I'm not, I'm going to leave. And it's like, there's priorities with it. I'll make you my number one. You make me my number one.
Allie, do you ever wonder why people just can't be honest?
Because I don't know. I mean, I've thought about this a lot, and this has come across my head. I just think they like it. I think they enjoy being sneaky. Like, it's fun. It's a turn on. It's different. And for me, like, and being dishonest in that situation, they want to keep you around, but they want to play this game at the same time because they find it fun. Right. And it's a toxic person. And just in general, it's a person that you don't want to be a part of, because once a cheater, always a cheater. And I will strongly always stick by that.
Believe that? Okay.
Always believe that.
All right. Now, if someone's listening to this right now, you're 23 years old. What kind of advice would you give somebody at 23 or at any age, or a woman, that think they might be going through the same thing? What kind of advice would you give them?
The first thing that came into my mind was, there are a billion people in this world. There's going to be someone there that's going to treat you right. Don't stick around to this person that's going to treat you wrong. That's my biggest advice, is like, I know that my person's out there, and that person's going to treat me like an angel, and I'm not going to settle for less.
Okay. And would you advise other people to find out the whole story also?
I do. You know why? Because you need to know the whole story, because it'll make you sleep at night.
Okay.
Like, and it sucks, and it's not going to be fun to hear, but it'll make you sleep at night, and it'll be closing a chapter. I mean, if you keep the book half open, you're always going to wonder what happened. Right. And you're going to always try to go back to that book, and you'll be like, oh, I wonder what happened. But if you shut it, close it, you're good.
You're done.
You're done with it.
And you got all the answers you needed, right?
Yeah, I did. It was a hard moment. Don't get me wrong on that. Like, it was hard.
Yeah, you look like you still got a little rage going on.
I do. But I've moved on from it, and I'm happier this way.
But look like this. If you were still in that relationship, who knows how many more women that he needed to be around.
Exactly. And I mean, it could have even gotten worse to where, like, if I kept calling him out on it, it could have gotten abusive. Right. And it could have potentially hurt me. Right. And in the relationships, if this is going to happen, it's going to continue to happen that way. And it's not going to change.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you, Allie, sharing your story today.
Of course.
I realize that it wasn't hard. It's kind of tough to talk about, but sometimes even when talking about it and letting it out and sharing your story with somebody else, you can help somebody else later on down the road.
Definitely.
Because as a detective, I've learned that cheating affects all ages, all kinds. Ages. Doesn't matter how much money you make, doesn't matter how good looking you are, or what kind of car you drive, or anything else. You can still be caught cheating or get cheated on. Yep. One way or another.
Cheating's bad. Don't do it.
Yes. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thanks. We're going to thank Allie for being here today. And thank you for listening to another episode of Beyond Cheaters, the Detective Gomez Files. And be sure and tune in next week. We'll have another episode. Have a great evening and take care. Thank you for listening to our show today, ladies and gentlemen. We want to thank our sponsor, Juan Hernandez Law. You can visit them at juanlaw.com or contact them at 214-900-0000 to help me through an accident, and they can help you too. So contact them today.